All right. Oops. There we go. We are back. I don't know why it always takes me off of the screen when we first go live. New feature though. But welcome back, everyone. We got Coach Nick, lead Pray Huddle. So yeah, this week isn't about hype. It wasn't about influencer predictions. It wasn't about moon targets, right? It's about how Bitcoin responds when real economic data hits the system. So welcome back, Nick, man. How's everything going?
Thank you, man. I'm happy to be back. Excited to be here. Thanks for everyone who's already in the chat. And if you have any questions, just know that it's going to be shorter today. The brother-in-law's funeral is today. I got to go straight there from this, so it's probably only going to be about 20 minutes. Sorry for that, but just a little FYI.
Oh man, sorry to hear that. Yeah, hopefully a nice relaxing day and get that over with, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully there I do see people. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't yet, go check out Coach Nick's channel, Lead Pray Huddle. He's also live streaming there. So if you give it a like, subscribe. But yeah, let's get into it, right? How did Bitcoin respond to economic data releases this week? Economic data dropped this week, inflation numbers, rate expectations, macro noise, and Bitcoin had to react in real time, right?
Oh yeah, man. So Bitcoin did react strongly to macroeconomic news this week. I mean, obviously today alone with Iran and everything going on, you saw in the middle of the night, Bitcoin dropped down to 63K. It's kind of bouncing up a little bit. Markets hate uncertainty, so here we are again in an uncertain world, right? Trying to figure things out. Earlier in the week, though, prices dropped due to like inflation fears, markets expectations, and then it kind of had a midweek bounce where it got back to nearly 70K range, and here we are back down to 65K after a hot PPI inflation data that erased most of those gains, and a hawkish Fed outlook when you think about the PPI and what they're going to do with the rates and everything else. So it could be, stressful on everyone trying to figure out and kind of dance with the man a little bit that called the U.S. government. What's going forward, man? Yeah.
Yeah, so because what Bitcoin does in moments of pressure tells you kind of how the market is positioned. What was a dominant narrative surrounding Bitcoin this week?
Well, one of the dominant narratives this week was Jane Street, basically Trump media suing Jane Street, talking about them slowing down Bitcoin's price, short covering during certain deadlines and dates we've heard about over the last couple months that's led to Bitcoin's downfall in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of things with that story developing, trying to expose things that obviously Bitcoin's on chain for a lot of things. So it makes it harder for people to kind of hide what's going on. So they're going to try to get to the bottom of that. And I don't think it's just a matter of like a slap on the hand, but it's like if they show they're willing to go after it, a lot of other people will stop doing it as well. And I think that's what's sort of the main driver this week about this selling pressure, trying to stop all these manipulation things that are going on. But at the end of the day, it does go back to the guardrails I mentioned of the Clarity Act that needs to be passed in order for um, I guess for the time preference to be shorter. I think long term Bitcoin's all right no matter what happens, but short term, I would love some guardrails to get Bitcoin pumping again, and I'd be excited once it does pass. Yeah.
Narratives move retail and behavior moves markets. So did market sentiment shift throughout the week? You can feel it sometimes, Monday optimism, Wednesday fear, Friday confusion, right? So
Yeah. Hey, you're 100% right, man. It's extreme fear in the market earlier in the weeks. Everyone's panicked, blood in the street for sure. And then whenever you feel that way, it's usually a good time to buy, at least for a quick rally or a bounce. And you have a Bitcoin jump of 6% the next day. I mean, the another trouble was the algorithms, man. They go crazy when they find something they like, especially with volatility. They get after it. I mean, every single thing I read was blood in the streets for Bitcoin on Monday, right? And then when it bounced back, I didn't see any reposting going on from anybody. I was like, whoa, what's up with this? You know what I mean? And if you're a basketball fan like myself, I'm a UCLA basketball fan. Mick Cronin, if you don't know the backstory, basically kicked one of his players out of one of the games. And long story short, the algorithms got into it, man. And he was on every single news feed if you're a basketball follower. And then they won the next game, and you haven't heard nothing about it since. So it's just crazy how media today is different. It's not just CNN, Fox News, but it's really those X and social media feeds that are dictating how retail investors think about it. And people talk. That's the water cooler talk now. We're not talking about Game of Thrones anymore at the water cooler. We're talking about whatever's going on at X. And that's why it's kind of great and terrible at the same time. But we did see that Bitcoin did fail to hold that 66K level. Sentiment did turn bearish though, and it does show low confidence though in the bounce after a few whales jumped in. It looks like they might be selling again, especially with the Iran news.
Yeah, X is a very fun place to be. It's very you can without even probably knowing what's going on in the actual world,
Yeah,
you can kind of get an idea of just based on how like Bitcoin discussion is going in the feed. But sentiment shifts fast, positioning shifts slower. That gap matters. So, what is one key takeaway investors should learn? You know, if someone only learned one lesson from this week's price action, what should it be?
well, the fact is that Bitcoin's trading like a risk asset. It's not digital gold right now. They're not looking at it like that at all. The spot volume has dropped since January, really, especially since October in general, October 10th. Liquidity matters more than some of the headlines these days, but they will sell Bitcoin on bad news cycles. So we drop a bomb, anything like that, bad Bitcoin gets hit the hardest because it's so liquid and it's easier to manipulate. Like I've been saying, if you've been following my channel, because of the no wash trading rules, you see a lot of ETF outflows still happening on those days, and you also need to watch for stablecoin minting with the U.S. dollar. That seems to be another way of exchanging reserves for the U.S. government going forward. So I just again don't chase these short term price spikes because it might just bounce off the top and head back lower. And just might be what's the future is lower for now. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of positive sentiment going on in the world right now. And it doesn't matter your politics, but people are struggling a little bit. And honestly, you don't blame them. You go to a restaurant and you spend $18 on a little plate of food. You're like, how's it $18? You know what I mean? It's insane. You know what I mean? So, and then the companies, the businesses are like, we don't have anybody coming in. I'm like, yeah, because it's $18. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
saw a 12 pack of Coca Cola was $10.99. I was like, what? $10.99? It's water. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
whatever.
come to Hawaii and see what the prices are. But every week, right, it either reinforces your discipline or exposes your weaknesses. So, and this is the question everyone wants answered without pretending we have a crystal ball. So, based on this week's movement, are we leaning bullish, bearish, or neutral heading into next week?
Bearish to neutral at best, personally. Bitcoin rejected that $70,000 resistance, man, so that wasn't good. It might be failing to hold the 65K support level, and there's possible downside targets of 61,000, maybe even 54,000. And until there's some real tailwinds going forward, it's hard to feel bullish about anything, especially a K-shaped economy, and people like to pick on Bitcoin a lot right here, but it's just a liquid asset. If you look at a lot of things from Tesla to the Mag 7, everything's down tremendously. Sentiment's down, uncertainty's up, and so much is going on with the AI. I mean, if you saw Jack Dorsey recently, he's letting go a bunch of people from his company, Block, and their stock went up like 20% after, so they were excited. But the truth was, they just said they didn't need anybody. We're doing the job now, and AI is doing a better job. They were actually honest about it, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, it doesn't take five people to do one person's job anymore like they used to like claim it did in the past. And especially those were the state jobs, the city jobs, the federal jobs, right? Three people to plug in a light bulb. Well, that's not happening right now anymore, and we're trimming some of the fat, whether it's from government or through AI technology, and sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, So it is what it is. I think there will be new jobs going forward in the future. I mean, at one point, I was in 1903, 1908, something like that. Whale hunting was like the biggest thing, and then the next year it was gone. Like nobody, it was the number one thing in the country, and then it was gone. Right. So things happen, things change, ebbs and flows, and change is uncomfortable, and we all know that. So we'll be okay.
Yeah, to what you were just talking about, there was I can't I'm trying to find I thought I saved it on X, but I did post it on Facebook, and someone was kind of talking to your point, right? Like there's layoffs, but company stock prices are going up because it's almost like they're just kind of cleaning things up and they're getting rid of things that may not even be necessary anymore. So people
Yep.
are losing their jobs, but for stockholders and owners, it is beneficial. So that's why the person was also like, reach financial independence as soon as possible and don't rely on these things, because when companies go through these periods, they're going to cut things, but yet it's still beneficial for the ownership, right?
Oh yeah, because I think the businesses are going to be showing major profits going forward, because at least in the beginning, because they're trimming a lot of fat and they're replacing it with a very affordable thing, an AI. So I think the earnings reports coming out maybe in the next year might be really good. That's why I'm investing in those. If you're in the S&P 500, you're probably going to be okay. But you're in an individual stock, your company might have some trouble.
All right. So like we said, this is gonna be a short one this week. Let's see if we have any questions though in the chat real quick. I do want to wrap it up, if not with one short one, if no one has anything. Let me see here real fast. Yeah, Hyder says Bitcoin is around the 65K mark today, where it's been for a while. Just any trade bettors asking, anyone else filing taxes this weekend? What do you do? Do you file it on time, file extension? What is your plan on that?
Well, I did taxes for 7 years as a tax professional, and I know I always follow it on time, because usually I'm getting a refund. Not all the time, but lately, since I've been investing in Bitcoin, I've been paying a lot of money to the government, because you can't really hide anything like that, or there's not many loopholes when it comes to some of these things. So you got to just pay your taxes. So no, I usually just pay on time, move forward. I like to be up to date in what I'm doing, so I know how to budget and invest later down the line. It's hard to invest money that you might lose, so I get rid of that immediately, pay it off, and go for it. I don't say immediately. I go all the way to the date, and put that money in a dividend stock or something high yield, and then I just pay from there. But yeah.
All right. So I see old guy REI tuning in from your channel. He says, "Hey, Coach Nick, aloha from lovely Watsonville, California."
Aloha.
Hey, and we got Justin Camera here. I'll be live streaming with him in about 30 minutes or so. He'll be joining me, but he's on a cruise somewhere, so his time's all messed up. But he does ask, how do you derive Bitcoin value?
Well, for me, I mean, everyone on here knows that I use IBIT to do option trading. So I really do covered calls and long term options that make money every month, and it's been great, major success in that, and that's where I get. It's like my cash flowing real estate, but I do it through options, and it's been the best thing I ever did as a real estate investor. A couple $1 million in real estate before I sold. A lot of it went to Bitcoin and Tesla and some other things, but yeah, I use the options, specifically covered call options. Yep.
And we're still trying to figure out how we could maybe share screen without showing too much account information with that, right?
Yeah.
Someone did mention Thinkorswim, that they think you could do it using that platform, but I'm not sure.
Never
Um,
used it. I don't know.
yeah. Trade if with your crystal ball, Trade Better is asking, when will Bitcoin drop to 37K?
I think again, I don't have a crystal ball, you know what I mean? But I personally think we're going to well, going by the 4 year cycle, October is the lowest point usually. So I would expect down all the way till October, but it likely might start pumping up before that, because things are a little different. Seems to be like the cycle is shorter, not as long, and happening faster. So it might be a few months ahead of that. But I would expect normally October is that low month in the cycle, and then we get closer towards the new cycle of the 4 year halving, and things start to pump again. So I think a lot of whales, big money is believes in the cycle still, and they're going to wait to put in their money until those dates line up.
Hyder is asking, what is a common point you like to make if someone says Bitcoin is intangible?
Well, I think that I mean fiat's intangible in some ways, right? Like it's just digital. Like they don't even print it anymore. It's all digital. It's all fugazi. It's all fake money. So the same thing I think for Bitcoin. It's just a matter of, do people believe that it's do they all value it equally? Right now, people bought into the fact that fiat replaced gold, or it's backed by gold, so they accept paper, which is pretty much worthless, but because we say it's worth something of value. So for the same thing, people have a hard time understanding that Bitcoin, though you might not be able to touch it in your hand or live in it or put it on like a pair of pants, could be worth the value. But that money in your Chase account, your Wells Fargo account, all that thing, you're not getting the cash. It's just numbers moving on a screen, man. Going from the Epstein Island to your account or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's all fake, fugazi.
I don't know. Are you able to do memberships on your YouTube channel yet? Maybe you could do a membership, whatever, and do private stuff like live streams. But Hyder's asking, when are you going to put on the options clinic, Nick? Right. So
I
we're
need
trying
to
to
do
figure
that.
that out. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I need to do that when I go to the one rental at a time next year or something, do a little side segment on options or something. But yeah, I don't know. I need to do something. I don't think I can do a membership yet. I don't
Hmm.
know. I think I might have to get to that 1,000 mark, 1,000 subscribers.
Oh,
So support me right now by subscribing to my channel and Mark's channel. I think I'm around 406 right now, and the goal is to get 1,000. So then I can basically be unlock new features of YouTube, and that'll be exciting for me, for the viewers, and everyone else. Yeah.
be careful. I didn't even know I unlocked the feature because somehow I have Flavio as a member on my channel. He joined. I guess I have some sort of $1.99 membership going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Flavio is my only member. I'm like, what the hell?
That's funny.
We'll wrap it up soon. A couple more minutes. Harrison's asking Nick, when will Tesla hit $800? 2030?
I think before that, honestly, but we'll see. We need these robo taxis to be rolling out into all the major cities. Obviously, there's political fighting between Musk, and a lot of people don't like Musk just because he could be, loud and boisterous, but his technology is sound. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And I think as the robo taxi specifically gets into these major cities and starts making money and put Uber and Waymo and all these Lyft companies out of business, that's going to bring in major profit. So I think we're just on the road to that. And then we're hitting 1,000 as the actual robot comes in and starts doing people's jobs and replacing a gardener or maid or anything else. I know it sounds crazy, but if you watch the Jetsons, you know this is possible.
There is Coach Nick's YouTube channel, Lead Pray Hado. So if you haven't yet, jump over there, subscribe real quick. We're gonna wrap things up real soon. Last one, because I've been bringing this question up to a lot of people recently. I put it on Facebook. I even asked it to Zuber in our weekly recording. But I guess the Mr. Beast, the Beast Game winner, year 2 or season 2, gets $5 million. So the choice was $5 million up front, or would you take 50K a month for life?
50K a month for life is my thing, because you can mess up. I mean, imagine spending 50K every month on purpose, and then it just comes back magically. You know what I mean? Because I could blow through 5 million, no problem. You know what I mean? You could. Here's another secret thing, probably no one told you, but your wife could divorce you and take half your 5 million, but you're still getting your 50,000 after.
Hey, you know what? That I think I like that answer the best right
Gotta think
there.
long term, people. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, that's the great. Let's see the last one. James, I used to all of my con. Oh, I used to use all of my COVID bonus to buy Bitcoin.
Oh, nice.
Should I cash it out for a down payment on a rental house? Okay, we'll wrap it up with this last one. Any thoughts for James on this one?
Man, I feel like you need more information on that. I think that was genius, especially during COVID. I know Bitcoin was low. You might have been getting anywhere from $10,000 mark maybe back then, and you rode the wave up and back down. A rental house, is it? It can't be a single family home, that's for sure. It needs to be at least 2, 3, or 4 minimum. It depends on a lot of too many factors, man. I don't want to give you wrong advice, but I always love rental property too. But like, what state are you in? What are your long term goals? What's the rest of your finance looking like? There's too much information, but I think you're always correct investing in assets if you have a long-term mentality, because anything could happen to the market. Right now, there's actually way more sellers than buyers right now in real estate. So it could be a good time to buy. At the same time, could be kind of scary with what everything's that's going on. So really map out your whole financial goals. Talk to your spouse if you have one, but really do some long-term 12-month thinking on that, man. And you can't be wrong. But and then have you ever invested in real estate before, in terms of like what kind? Because there's a million types of things you can do in real estate. So are you got a property manager yourself? Are you not? There's just too many things to factor in. Real estate is wonderful though, and you might really want to think about it. Do I think it could go lower? Yes. Long term, though, I think it's going up. So it's up to you, man.
All right, great answer. Like I said, let's wrap things up. Thanks for doing this, Nick. Like I said, Bitcoin doesn't reward reaction; it rewards preparation. It doesn't reward noise; it rewards patience, right? So lead with purpose, pray with intention, and hodl with discipline, right? So we'll see everyone next week. Thanks, man.
Yes.